in their own fact check, they say, but we don't want to draw that conclusion or anything. Well, we were not comfortable with the conclusions that we're drawing. The reason all of this is a problem is because there's an attempt now to reassert gatekeeping from the top. There's an attempt that's happening right now in real time to reassert the gatekeeping of news. And a lot of this is driven by the fake news mania that the left has pushed in the aftermath of Hillary Clinton losing the election. So Hillary lost. We can't just say she lost because she's a crappy candidate. Instead, we're going to say the reason that she lost is because of fake news. It's because people were putting out stuff that was false. Now, there are stories that are actually false. There are stories about how Pizzagate was real, for example, where there's no factual basis to it whatsoever. Okay, that's actual fake news. Then there's stuff you disagree with. And unfortunately, because the left disagrees with so much of what the right has to say, what you see very often is the left actually engaging in a process where they will shut down the dissemination of conservative-oriented news because they're saying it's afactual or counterfactual. That's not true. That's not true. So you've seen there's been talk about this on some of the major websites. It's certainly true on Google, that how you search on Google is very different than the search results that you receive from another web engine like Bing. Obviously, Twitter has been downgrading conservatives for a while. So what James O'Keefe uncovered here is something that's very troubling. It's one of the reasons why, for example, YouTube has gotten itself in serious trouble. They demonetized a video that I did with Dave Rubin the other day, which is the least controversial political video of all time. They demonetized a conversation that I did with Blair White on transgenderism, which is a very friendly conversation with a transgender person about the pronouns that ought to be used in addressing transgender people. That was demonetized. Right? YouTube has demonetized a lot of the Prager University videos, so much so that Prager University is suing YouTube. And now, is that a lawsuit that can sustain? I'm not sure it can because these are all private companies. But it is certainly true that we do have a troubling situation that people should know about when all of the major ways that you gain your news are being curated by a bunch of lefties on the top who are biasing the news feed in favor of their own favorite political beliefs, knowing that other media outlets will praise them for doing so. So good on O'Keefe for doing this, and this is something you should keep an eye on. Just because news is being downgraded by an outlet does not mean that that news is fake news. I mean, as I say, Daily Wire is now has these reviewed claims over at Google. Guess what doesn't? Slate, Huffington Post, Salon, right? None of these have this, right? None of them. CNN, none of them have the reviewed claims aspect. Instead, they're just using left-wing fact checkers to fact check. It's not just Daily Wire, by the way. It's Daily Caller, it's The Federalist. It's only right-wing sites, basically.